Hey Void, how you doing? 50 or so, still working through that backlog. And putting a good dent in it. If I keep up this pace, who knows, maybe I'll be done by for my next year. Okay, so, about time I got to this one because I've reviewed both of the sequels and did enjoy them both. This movie I've seen when it came out in theaters because their ad campaign worked. Cloverfield. It was an experience when this movie first came out. Just remembering the previews for it, it just came out of nowhere because it shows pretty much just a little bit of the beginning of the film where it's just like a goodbye party at a found footage goodbye party, just going around. It looks like a feel good comedy, and then there's an explosion, some rumbling, and the Statue of Liberty's head just goes rolling by outside after a massive explosion. Then it just trailer ends, and just no title, just a date for when it's coming out. That was it. So many speculation around it, whether it was a new Godzilla film, and then people assumed it was a giant monster film of some form, but nobody knew what it was. And yeah, it was effective. Though I will say, I do get a little motion sick, so watching this one in the theater with a big bucket of greasy popcorn did not go the greatest for me. But did not keep me from actually going back a second time with some other people, omitting the popcorn, and I was fine that time. But overall, Cloverfield was an experience. And for me, I do enjoy found footage films. This one does work for me. So, I kind of just gave you the beginning there. So, it's pretty much several people are... I can't remember all the characters' names right off the top of my head right now, just because it was months ago I actually rewatched this, but it's a going away party for... Then... Actually... Got their hair. So, it's a going away party for Jason. His brother Rob is kind of throwing it for him then with his girlfriend Lily and their best buddy Hood, who's the guy usually with the camera, which calling him Hood, heads up display, little joke. I'm pretty sure that's intentional. Anyway, added to the group is Marlena, a girl Hood is obsessed with, and they're trying. And there's also a girl that Jason is kind of just broken up with, and named Beth, who is, well, she's just showing up to the party, but however, she's brought a new boyfriend, things are very awkward, all that's going on, and then is when all hell breaks loose, right after Beth leaves and had already essentially gone home. Now that the city is falling apart and something is clearly destroying it, and the military is trying to order evacuations, they're trying to get to where Beth is, because she is trapped because part of her high-rise collapsed and she's pinned. She can't escape, so they're trying to make their way to her, either by cutting through the subways, running through the streets, doing everything they can to get to her and then get out of the city. Meanwhile, there's a giant monster rampaging and some smaller things that are flaking off of it that are now chasing people around. Yeah, it's a pretty effective little what is going on movie, and they do a good job keeping that tension going. And the film does have a good sense of humor, but the comedy doesn't override everything else that's going on. It is still more of a serious thriller first, but it does know when to let the comic relief go. And I think a lot of T.J. Miller's delivery as Hud really does that well. Now, a lot of these things are here scary, delivers the thrills, frightening. Not really. It's more of an exciting film, sure. And I will say some of the scenes while they're running through the sewers, being chased by something in the dark, okay, that part was a little bit. But for the most part, it's more of a sci-fi extravaganza. For me, you see how many Godzilla movies I've been reviewing. I'm a sucker for giant monster movies. This one's Came out in 2008. This is more of a modern day one, and it works pretty well. And they do a good job not letting you see the monster in its entirety for quite a while, so you just get pieces here or there. So you do get some clear shots of it by the end, but they make you work for them. The monster is pretty CG heavy, sure, which would it have benefited a bit more from being in practical effects? Yeah. But overall, it doesn't really hold back because of how little they linger on the monster. I think for MacGuffin scale, most of the effects do hold up pretty well. Like I said, the CG is a little so-so, but they seem to use more practical effects for the smaller monsters, and those do work. The blood, when it's there, is effective. I'm a bit of a soft spot for this one, but the fact that the series kind of ran away without answering any of the questions of this one, with now 10 Cloverfield Lane having nothing to do with this, and the Cloverfield Paradox having pretty much nothing to do with this, they don't really follow up enough for the coherency, and with how long we've been waiting, that has worn a little thin. I just would like either a direct follow up or just to stop playing around as if we're doing anything big universe here. So I'll give it a 7 MacGuffin. It's good, but there are it is how much it has hyped itself up into being mysterious, and then adding pretty much 2 movies which had nothing to do with the continuity, slapping the Cloverfield label on them just to try to fit them in to keep the mystery going. It's getting a little pretentious. But the original Cloverfield, by itself, as a standalone, does work. And it's probably the best. And then, for me, it's the best of the 3. 10 Cloverfield Lane is a very strong movie, but it's a very different animal. And one that, while I like, this one's one that I go back to more just because I love me giant monster. What can I say? Alright. See you later, Void.